Hi, kindergarten friends. Welcome back and happy Friday. Remember when we last left off in our story, Season of the Sandstorm, we learned that Jack and Annie were where? That's right, they were in the desert near Baghdad, an ancient city. That's right. When? Well, was it today or long ago? Long ago, that's right. Between 762 and 1258 AD. That's a long time ago. And not only that, they were there during the season of the sandstorm. And what were they doing? Well, they knew Merlin had given them a rhyme to figure out. And the first part of the rhyme was they were supposed to find a ship of the sea. Do you remember that part of the riddle? And they weren't sure what to do, so they used one of their magical rhymes. And the last thing that they knew, they had seen some men on camels. And we were wondering what the word Mamoon meant. So let's read on today to find out what these people with camels are up to and what the word Mamoon means and see if anything changes. Here we go. Annie stuck her head out the treehouse window. "Hey!" she called. "Shh!" said Jack, pulling her back in. "Don't let them see us up here. It's too hard to explain the treehouse. Let's go down." "Good point," said Annie. She handed Merlin's letter to Jack and started down the rope ladder. Jack grabbed his shoulder bag. He put the letter inside, then added their research book and rhyme book. He slung the leather bag across his chest and climbed down. When he stepped onto the ground, Jack twisted the rope ladder behind the tree trunk so it wouldn't be noticed. "Okay," he said to Annie. "Hey!" Annie called again, waving. She and Jack stepped out into the open. The camel riders headed toward the palm trees. The man in the lead made his camel kneel. As he climbed off, Jack and Annie ran over to him. The man wore a long white robe. He had a black beard and stern dark eyes. "Who are you?" he asked, unsmiling. "From where do you come?" "I am Annie, and this is my brother Jack," said Annie. "Our home is far away in Frog Creek, Pennsylvania." "I have not heard of such place," the man said. "How do you come to be here in the desert alone?" Jack didn't know what to say. "We were riding with our family," Annie said. "We stopped to rest here. My brother and I took a nap behind these trees. When we woke up, everyone was gone. They left us by mistake. See, we have a really big family. There are many brothers and sisters." "Annie," said Jack. She was saying too much, he thought. The man looked concerned. "Why have they not come back for you?" he said, gazing out at the desert. "I hope they have not been attacked by bandits." "Are there bandits around here?" asked Annie. "There are many bandits prowling the desert," said the man. Jack looked anxiously around at the vast sandy plain. "That is why one must always travel with others," said the man. But I hope your family is safe and will return for you soon." "Excuse me," Annie said politely. "But who are you? How did you happen to come here?" "I am a merchant," the man said. "My caravan was traveling from the west when we were surprised by a sudden sandstorm. It seemed to come from nowhere, but luckily it brought us to this oasis. We will rest and water our animals until the sun goes down. In the cool of the night, we will travel on to Baghdad." Yes, they're going to find Baghdad. Still no Mamoon, though. The caravan leader walked over to his men and spoke to them. They dismounted and started taking saddlebags off the camels. Annie turned to Jack. "See, our rhyme worked," she whispered. The sandstorm was magic. It brought them here on their way to Baghdad. "But how can we get them to help us?" said Jack. "Well, Merlin said we should be humble, so let's offer to help them," said Annie. She walked over to the caravan leader. He was filling a canvas bucket with water from a small spring. "Excuse me," said Annie. "We wondered if we could help you." The man gave her a quick smile. "Thank you, yes," he said. "If you could gather dates, it would be most appreciated. My men are very hungry." He handed Annie 2 large baskets. "No problem," said Annie. "We'll gather dates." Annie carried the baskets to Jack. "Do you know what a date is?" she whispered. We're supposed to gather some. I'll look it up, said Jack. With his back to the camel riders, he pulled out their research book and looked up the word dates. He read, dates are known as the fruit of the desert. They hang in bunches from date palms. People gather dates by shaking the trunk of the tree. Not only are dates an important food, but the wood and the leaves of the date palm are used to make... Okay, got it, interrupted Annie, putting the baskets down. Let's start shaking the trees. Jack put the book away and looked around. For the first time he noticed bunches of brown fruit hanging from the tree. He grabbed hold of the nearest trunk. Annie grabbed the trunk from the other side. They shook the tree until dates began falling to the ground. In the desert heat, Jack and Annie went from tree to tree, shaking each one and gathering the dates that fell to the ground. By the time they had filled the baskets, the trees were casting long shadows over the oasis. There's Jack and Annie shaking those dates out of those trees. Oh, if you don't have out your Reader's Writer Journal, go ahead and do that now. Still no Mamoon, though, but we learned where dates come from. Date palms. How cool is that? Tired and sweaty, Jack and Annie carried their heavy baskets back to the caravan leader. He was boiling water over a fire of twigs. Ah, very good, he said. Thank you, Jack and Annie. You're welcome, said Annie. What else can we do for you? You should rest from the heat now, said the man. Would you like to sit and have tea with us? Sure, said Annie. By the way, what is your name? My name is very long, the man said with a smile. You may call me Mamoon. We figured it out. While their camels grazed, Mamoon and his men sat on a woolen rug spread over the grass. They shared dates and tea with Jack and Annie. The dark, plump fruit was sweet and chewy. The tea was strong but good. In the fiery red glow of the setting sun, Jack watched the grazing camels. He thought the humped animals looked really funny. They had knobby knees, big clumsy feet, and little ears that twitched. Some camels smacked their droopy lips as they drank water. Others gobbled down whole branches of thorn bushes without chewing. Don't the thorns hurt the camels' throats? Jack asked Mamoon. No, said the caravan leader. Their mouths are very tough. They can eat anything, sticks, bones. Even our tents and saddlebags if we let them, said a young camel rider. Annie and Jack laughed. What's in your saddlebags? Annie asked. Our bags are filled with goods from Greece, Turkey, and Syria, said Mamoon. We have many things, jewels, beads, precious spices, such as cinnamon, pepper, and vanilla. We are taking everything to Baghdad to sell. We have to get to Baghdad, too, said Annie. We have to meet the Caliph. The camel riders chuckled as if they thought Annie was making a joke. Only Mamoon did not laugh. Your family is to meet with the Caliph, he said. No, said Annie, just Jack and me. We have to help him spread wisdom to the world. Annie, warned Jack. The camel riders laughed loudly. What's so funny? Annie asked. The Caliph does not meet with children, said a young man. He is the most powerful, important person in the world. Oh, said Annie, frowning. The news worried Jack, too. Mamoon looked at Annie and Jack with a curious expression. Night will soon be upon us. Since your family has not yet returned, would you like to travel with us to Baghdad? He said. You have journeyed by camel this far. I trust you can ride camels the rest of the way. Sure we can, said Annie. We love camels. We do, thought Jack. Good. We love our ships of the desert too, said Mamoon. We will set sail on them soon. So that's what ships of the desert are, Annie whispered to Jack. Camels, thought Jack. Oh, brother. All right, I want you to make a prediction. How will Jack and Annie do riding their camels across the desert? And will they make it to Baghdad? Probably. All right, I can't wait to read to you Chapter 4, Ships of the Desert. I would like for you to also illustrate a ship of the desert. Remember, it's not a ship. It's a camel. All right, see you on Monday.